Well, just gonna wait on some people. Just gonna sit here and wait like I do, and I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Well, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. I forget the rest. Someone's gonna be watching this video after the recording and be like, "What the fuck is he doing?" Like, what? Oh, hey, Bizarro, you were the first one here. Someone's gonna come on here and be like watching this recording later, like, "What the fuck is he doing?" Hunter Johnson, hello. Hello, Caroline. John McKinney. I have no thoughts on that. It's done. Movies. We got a movie. I don't need Tim Burton. Travis. Hello, Travis. I'm gonna wait for a few more people before I start doing like talking about what's going on. Is it just me or is this inverted? I haven't seen Shazam, although I did see a movie. My girlfriend and I did watch a movie that was a great replacement for it. You can guys go watch it on streaming light right now. It's called Project Wolf Hunting. Project Wolf Hunting is basically a Korean film that technically came out last year, but it didn't get a release in here in America until this year. So Project Wolf Hunting is a like I said, a Korean horror action movie. If you ever saw, like, the best way to describe it is if you watch Doomsday, that World War II movie with the Nazi zombies, it's like that. It's like that, but like, yeah. It's like kung fu gore fest. There's some like fatalities in that movie. People get finished in that movie. It's a brutal film. If you love blood and guts, and like I said, it's like Wolverine mixed with Overlord, mixed with Old Boy. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what. Then oh boy, you can find it on Amazon Prime. That's where we watched it. Yeah. So once again, the movie's called Project Wolf Hunting. Yeah. So yeah. So I guess there's enough people here to talk about like what's going on. So as always, I always do these live streams whenever I get a new some new comics from Chris. And he did. And now, not the entire haul came through, but I did get enough comics while I was on the having a weekend with my girlfriend. We went to this place called Tate's, which is in around Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So if you're in that area, go check it out. You were not mentally prepared for those for it. It is big. Like, it will mentally overwhelm you. I'm just it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Yeah, so Chris sent me some and I got some of my own. So we'll go through them real quick. And I just thought that'd be fun. Also, I want to show you what else I got. I forgot to take it out, but here, I'm so professional. Is it here? Ah, there you are. So, as you guys know, I collect Pops, but also I collect other things. I've been recently collecting a new series of things, but not all of it. And these are called Toonie Terrors. They're from NECA, which NECA does all these figures, like really high-class figures. But they've been doing these things called Toonie Terrors, which are like Scooby-Doo cartoon versions of slashers and horror characters. This is now my third one. This is the Miner from My Bloody Valentine. I love just how, like, just the cartooniness of it. He's got a little heart too, like a little thing of hearts too. I also have two more, if you can see right up there. We have Pennywise and we have Ash from Evil Dead. So yeah. Yeah, I would like those I've been collecting for a while. I really want to get yeah, I know some of them are at Target. The ones I really want to get, first and foremost, I really want the American Werewolf in London one. I really want, there's a Toony Terror of American Werewolf in London. I really want that one. I really also want to get Freddy, Jason, and Michael. Ghostface. I especially love how they do Ghostface because he's in like a chasing motion, like in a Scooby-Doo cartoon. Yeah, so I would really love to get these. These aren't expensive either. They're like under $15. Yeah, there's also another one I want to get of Captain Blake from The Fog. I love The Fog. Yeah, so yeah, I really like these. I don't think I'm going to collect all of them. My girlfriend has a few. She has Herbert West from Reanimator and Sam from Trick or Treat. Those are the ones she has. Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to get more of these. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Jason, let me know when you next time you go to Target, go check out what Toony Terrors they have. I'm curious to see what they have on your end. Very curious to see what they have. Anyway. So anyway, that's just the one. That's the figure I got. I'm gonna put him up there on the wall later. So, like I said, it's now just the Miner or Axel Palmer or Harry Warden, depending on what you take, and Ash and Pennywise. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I know the toy section in Target's a cluttered mess. Every Target I've been in, it's just a fucking mess. Yeah. Anyway, so Chris had sent me some new comics, 10 in total. That, funny enough, they were supposed to be the February haul, but I even made a joke to Chris. Is like, yeah, I'll see him in March. I love you, brother. I really do. It's just that whenever you say it's going to be at this time, I'm like, oh, so it's going to be the month after. I'm sorry, Chris. Oh, Collective Con. That's cool. But yeah, so some of the books did come. About 4. There's 10. I don't know if I'll do a live stream for those whenever they come, but Chris, I'd like to thank you in advance for these comics and the others that are coming. I do know what they are. They just haven't arrived yet. But we're going to start with those, and we're going to also talk about the books I got from Tate's real quick. Yeah. So, that's not it. That's not one. So yeah, it's 2 Marvel, 2 DC, starting off with the first 2 volumes of New Superman. New Superman is the Chinese Superman. I have no idea about this character. Always love a new Superman title, though. And it's from Gene Yun Lang, who has done Superman Smashes the Klan. He's done the Shang-Chi comics. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of the comics. So, yeah, I'm curious to see this. This is the first 2 volumes. I think there's 3 in total, so I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Next up, for the Marvel side, we have Black Panther. Yeah, we have Black Panther Volume 1 by John Ridley. John Ridley being... he's done a lot of comics from Marvel and DC. He did the other history of the DC Universe. He did Superman Black, White, and Red. And he also was the writer, and I believe... Yeah, he was the writer on 12 Years a Slave. So this is his first volume on his run for Black Panther, which I'm very excited about. I'm very excited to see his take on Black Panther in this book. Next up, we have, and finally, we have Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, some of you guys already know I do have a Symbiote Spider-Man volume. It was the King in Black tie-in, which was a comic that was like a tie-in, basically, like I said, a tie-in to King in Black, which was basically, as I called it, Spider-Man teams up with Disney Plus. Because it was literally characters that all were getting Disney Plus stuff. It was a ragtag team of Spider-Man teaming up with Rocket Raccoon, Photon, the Watcher, Kang the Conqueror, and Black Knight. It was literally Spider-Man teams up with Phase 4 of Marvel. That's the best way to describe it. That's the best way to describe it. It was a lot of fun. I always love comics where they have like a weird bunch of superheroes all together. Symbiote Spider-Man, Tom just asked this question. Symbiote Spider-Man is basically a comic that is set during the Symbiote Spider-Man era, where Peter still had the symbiote costume after Secret Wars. These are like lost stories, are basically meant for these comics are basically like lost stories. And they're actually like, it was also, I think this was the comic that inspired like writers to do like other miniseries that are like lost story, like little mini tales in those eras. Like there's a Ben Reilly Spider-Man book where he takes on Spider-Side. I haven't read that one. There's also a few others of these involving the Hobgoblin and the him in the Crossroads. There's also a Maestro miniseries that acts as the prequel trilogy to the Hulk Maestro story. Oh, that's cool, Bill. But yeah. Okay, Red King, you got to stop that. Because, yeah, I don't do requests unless it's for Patreon, so. Anyway. Yep. This looks like a lot of fun. I've only read the one, so yeah, this will be pretty fun. This was the first one, so I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll get to read more. I just have the King in Black one, so I'm curious about Alien Reality and Crossroads. But thank you again for those, Chris, and I can't wait for the other 6 books. Yeah, it's only a trilogy, Jason. So yeah, you got the first. Yeah, it's only. Yeah, I think you got. Yeah, it's only 3 volumes. So yeah, I got the whole trilogy. Anyway, so now let's move on to the books I got from Tate, from Tate's Comics. Very big place in Florida. It's massive, and also another reason why I did this. And real talk, I'm not going to MegaCon this year because it's just too expensive. Yeah, I'm just not. I can't afford it. My girlfriend and I can't afford it, and we just had this sit-down conversation of, it sucks, but we got to save the money. And we went to Tate's to spend a lot of money, but nowhere near as we would at MegaCon. So we literally decided to do this instead of going to MegaCon because it was cheaper and it was more like, it was closer to where we were, and we had more fun doing that. It was a nice thing. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that. So here we go. So yeah, not going to MegaCon. Just can't do it. Next year, maybe next year. And also Chris will be there next year, hopefully. Chris, hope to see you there in 2024. We'll have a grand old time. Don't remind me, Bill, please. It was a hard enough decision. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so first off, we have Moonshine Volume 5, The Well. Moonshine is one of my favorite Image books. This is the 5th and final volume. I've now got all 5. This is an Image book from Brian Azzarello. It's the best way to describe this series is werewolves versus mobsters. This is Godfather with werewolves. Like it's a lot of fun. It's bloody. It's brutal. Yeah, Moonshine is later, Jason. It's a bloody book. It definitely has that horror noir feeling. And I recently got the 4th volume last week, or was it the week prior? Anyway, I finished that, and yeah, I'm very excited to see how this all ends. The reason I haven't been doing reviews of it was I was considering doing reviews. I did do the first reviews of the first 2 volumes over on another channel I used to be a part of. It's a really good book. If you love werewolves and gangs and mobster stories, it's 2 things I really love. So of course I was gonna review that. I was gonna love this. So I think maybe I'll do like a why you should read this on my own. Yeah. So really happy I got this. Next up, we have Batman: Night of the Monster Men. This was Batman: Night of the Monster Men was the first Batman event from DC Comics in the DC Rebirth era. This was like a huge. I felt dirty saying that. A huge DC event for all the Batman characters. I think it went through Batwoman, Nightwing, Detective Comics, and Batman. I think this was right after I Am Gotham, or at least I Am Bane. I can't remember which one it was after, but this is Night of the Monster Men. Is the best way to describe this is Batman versus Kaiju. That's what it is Batman versus the Bat Family versus Kaiju. What it is that Hugo Strange is unleashing a virus in Gotham that's turning people into giant monsters. And yeah, people are just running amok throughout the city as giant monsters, and it's up to the Bat Family to combat them. There's actually some really unique looking monsters, like just look at that, right? Yep. So this is really cool. I'm really excited for Batman and the Monster Men. Next up is another book I've been always wanting to read. It's a book I've been looking for years, and I finally found it. I'm so excited. The Rocketeer and the Spirit. The Spirit and the Rocketeer, Pulp Friction. This was a DC I think this was DC and IDW's first crossover. I really do think this was DC Comics and IDW's first crossover, or was it? Actually, I think this was the second, because first was the Legion of Superheroes and Star Trek. Yep. So, Rocketeer and the Spirit was in the comments, but someone needs to stop asking the same thing over and over again, and I'm not going to say who. Anyway, so as I was saying, then came TMNT, Batman, and NPR. Well, NPR Power Rangers was under Boom, not IDW. But yeah, so Rocketeer and the Spirit finally getting back on track. Rocketeer and the Spirit was a crossover written by Mark Waid. Yeah, Mark Waid doesn't do a lot of crossovers, but when he does, yeah, I'm interested. This is basically like a fun pulp story I haven't read yet, and I've always wanted to read more Spirit comics. I've always wanted to read more of the Spirit, and to have him team up with the Rocketeer, that's awesome. Next up for Marvel, we have The Thing, the next big thing. This was a miniseries that I didn't know existed, and now I really want to. Now I really want to read it. The Thing is one of my favorite Marvel superheroes, and this story is basically about the Thing on an adventure that involves like Death and Mephisto, Doctor Doom, and it's written by not a typical comic writer. It's written by Walter Mosley, who is a novelist. He's like a crime novelist, and he's a New York Times bestseller. I'm very excited for this. It's always fun to see Thing get his own like solo adventure. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, Thing, the next big thing. Looks like a lot of fun, and I'm always down for like a Thing adventure. This actually came out recently too. Like this flew right under the radar. I didn't even know this was a thing. I'm so bad. Next up for characters I'm always down for and wish I could read more of, Jonah Hex, No Way Back. So Jonah Hex, No Way Back was a graphic novel, and I think this was written towards the end of DC Comics Jonah Hex run from Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti. Jonah Hex is a character I love seeing, but I don't have any of his comics, so I might have to change. I would love to read more Jonah Hex. I would definitely love to read more Jonah Hex comics. It was the closest DC got to like a gritty Punisher Max story, but in the Old West. Like that's the best way to describe it. This comic deals with Jonah Hex and his past and his family trauma regarding his mother. So looking forward to that. Very much looking with Jonah Hex and his past and his family trauma regarding his mother. So looking forward to that. Very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. But yeah, it'd be nice to read some Jonah Hex. I've been wanting to read more Jonah Hex books. Next up, these last three didn't come from Tate's. They're actually from my girlfriend's local comic shop. Very nice place. I love it. Next up, we have The Incredible Hulk Ground Zero. So Hulk Ground Zero is from the Peter David era with a Gray Hulk. And it's also this comic is also known for having you and go on to make Spawn. This looks like a lot of fun. It's basically a story. Yes, this is also the story that has the very famous Hulk and Wolverine fight with the probably the most predominant cover in Marvel history. One of the most predominant covers. That one. Yeah. But yeah, this involves the leader as the villain and also has his Gamma Squad as so very much looking forward to it. I'm always down for some Hulk leader action. And also Gray Hulk is my favorite Hulk. No disrespect to good old Green, but I love me some Gray. Yep. Next up, we have another Spirit crossover, and this is one I didn't know. I didn't even know this was a thing. The Green Hornet, the Spirit. This is technically the TV show Green Hornet 66. Yeah. So Green Hornet, the Spirit is another crossover I didn't know. Like I said, this didn't exist. I didn't know existed. And it has a version of the Spirit, which I'm going to sound bad for this, but is African American. This is the Black Spirit, which I didn't know was a thing. And while I guess Denny Colt had retired as the Spirit and was now leaving it to another person. Looking forward to it. It's written by Fred Van Lente, who can be hit and miss, I will admit, but is a lot of fun. So very much looking forward to it. I'm very excited for it. Very excited for this book. Next up, we have a lot of people are going to laugh at me for this one. Swamp Thing, Book 1, by Alan Moore, Book 1. Swamp Thing, like I said with Jonah Hex, is another character I always love to see, but I never read enough books of his. And yeah, finally sat down and was like, I'm gonna get a Swamp Thing book. And where better than to start with Alan Moore's run, right? You know, where like that's the best way to say it, right? Is like where else than Alan Moore's. I do want to read more Swamp Thing books. It's the same thing with Jonah Hex. I want to read more Swamp Thing books. I know there's a new series by Ram V, which I'm actually heard good things about, so I'm very curious about that book. So, yeah. I don't need to say more about Alan Moore's Swamp Thing other than it's a legendary book. And finally, this was a book I got at a little streetwise convention in a neighboring town of mine, and that is Visionaries versus Transformers. Visionary versus Transformers was the miniseries that led up to the Unicron saga that ended the original IDW Transformer continuity. This was also like a new take on the Visionaries, which was another Hasbro title. Visionaries. It leads to several prominent deaths. Oh, thanks, Chris. Thank you for the Swamp Thing book. But yeah, I definitely want to read more Swamp Thing, so that definitely helps. Yeah. So, so Transformers versus Visionaries. It was an interesting, weird volume because it's not a crossover. It's definitely like the Visionaries are part of the Hasbro verse over at IDW. That was a thing for a hot minute. So yeah. Anyway, there you go. Those are all the books. Those are all the books. Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Yeah, you'd think there would be more Hornet Spirit crossovers. Yeah, Green Hornet Spirit crossovers. I figured. I'm surprised we never got a full-on crossover between the Spirit and the Shadow. That's the one that really, I'm mind-boggled by. We never got a crossover between the Spirit and the Shadow. Because that one makes a lot of sense, too. I mean, we had a Green Hornet Spirit crossover. I mean, Green Hornet Shadow crossover that I don't think ever got finished. But yeah. That'd be cool for a Green Lantern TMNT crossover. I'm sure they would love to ride. I'm sure Nickelodeon and DC would love to ride another Ninja Turtle DC property gravy train as much as they did with Batman. So why not? Why not that one, right? Like, why not Green Lantern? You could imagine all the figures you could make with Lantern Ninja Turtles. Oh, yeah. Chris keeps telling me about there's a Green Hornet Lone Ranger crossover, which I haven't read. I think Chris is going to send it to me one day, but I'm very excited because it's supposed to be like that revealed that Britt Reed is the grandson of the Lone Ranger. Oh, yeah, it's another one I thought we'd never get. Or just looking through the comments. What's one comic cartoon that should never get rebooted, like ever? I think everything can be rebooted as long as you give it the right people behind it. Steel Falcon, okay, yeah, they could do something. Yeah, I'm looking forward to new Superman. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I forgot that I had 2 other books. I literally forgot, and I left them in another room. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Literally forgot I had these. So fun fact, because I don't think I'll be able to ever show you guys, but my closet over there, my closet is so big, my girlfriend and I actually converted, or in the process of converting. Oh, hell, I forgot the long boxes in the trunk. I forgot the long boxes in the trunk of her car. Shit. Anyway, as I was saying before I made that realization, we're in the process of converting that closet into a full-on library. All my comics are on like bookshelves that I've bought and constructed, and we're getting long boxes for the single issues. So among those single issues also is I got the next volume. The first two issues, or she did for me, rather. The first two issues of the Godzilla Rivals Volume 2, which isn't so much Godzilla battling other monsters, it's more like other kaiju battling each other, and Godzilla's hardly even in here. So these are the first two issues, Rodan versus Ebirah and Mothra versus Titanosaurus. So I guess I'll do like quick reviews of them for the hell of it. Like, yeah. So the first one, Godzilla Rivals, Rodan versus Ebirah. Rodan versus Ebirah is more or less a comic with this space station, which is housing kaiju in there. And in here, they get Rodan and Ebirah get loose and are falling from the space station towards Japan, which could cause a cataclysm. The fight's really good. You'd never think we'd have an actual fight between Rodan and Ebirah. I'm excited for Michael Dorn writing Steel. It's going to be cool to see him as who was voicing Steel to actually write him. But like I said, it was actually a cool fight between Rodan and Ebirah. Because it's a monster fight you wouldn't expect, right? Like, you'd never expect Rodan to take on Ebirah in a full-on battle in a comic at all, especially one where they're falling onto space. They're falling to space. Artwork is pretty fun. It's a pretty decent fight throughout. Like, it's just them beating each other's asses throughout the book. I will say, though, that the winner of the book, it's Ebirah. Ebirah beats Rodan. Ebirah is and that's the thing. There are decisive winners in these books. It's not like a draw. There's no like draw in these books. It's like, no, there is a definitive winner. I don't know what's going to be like for the third issue, but yeah. But Ebirah, the fucking shrimp, beats Rodan in a fight. Yeah. But at least that comic had a fight as opposed to this. Mothra versus Titanosaurus. Mothra versus Titanosaurus is more or less should have been called Titanosaurus Spotlight featuring Mothra, because Mothra only shows up for 2 pages to beat Titanosaurus, and that's it. It's literally that Titanosaurus wants Mothra's egg, and these scientists are trying to save it from Titanosaurus, and then out of nowhere, Mothra comes in like Mothra Ex Machina to chase away Titanosaurus. Yeah, that's it. It's only 2 pages. Let me show you real quick. That's it. That's the fight. It's not like with Rodan and Ebirah where they're fighting throughout the book as they're falling to the ground to Earth. But the next issue I'm excited for, because these are coming out bi-monthly. The next issue I'm excited for, and hopefully it'll be good. I'm praying it's good. I'm praying it's a good book, because look who it is. Yeah. Destroya versus Biollante. Destroya versus Biollante. How you have to be like the biggest dumbass to mess that fight up. Like has to be like a knockdown, drag out fight between Biollante and Destroya. Yeah. So I'm really excited for that one. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be just a full on shit wrecking time. It's just going to be. it's just going to be a shit-wrecking time for everyone. So, yeah. I'm like, so far, it's not like with the first Godzilla Rivals, where in Godzilla Rivals, that one where it's like I only had the King Ghidorah issue was the only good one. Maybe the Batra and Gigan ones were good too. Where it's kind of like most were okay and some were bad. These ones are like so far we have one really good one, the Rodan and Ebro one, and one just bad one with Mothra and Titanosaurus. So yeah. Maybe we could get Godzilla versus Green Lantern. Who knows, Quentin? I haven't watched the movie yet. I haven't even read the comic. So, or have I read the comic? I can't remember. So, yeah. Oh, that's cool. That we might get our Last Ronin animated film. I would totally be down for that. I would totally be down. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. Like, the fact that like that hasn't happened yet after how popular The Last Ronin was, I'm shocked. I'm legit shocked that like Kevin Eastman has to like fight for that project to be a thing. Did I see Cocaine Bear? Yes, I did. I loved it. I did a review of it on Patreon. Sure, Tom. That one I don't know. That one, who knows? The Street Fighter one, that would be difficult. That's funny. It's a T-pose on your. I'm not a model kit person, so, but that does sound funny. I have watched the Ultraman anime. I really enjoyed. I'm looking forward to the final season. Hey, Trevor. Hey, Trevor. Well, my day's going fine. Yeah, I heard Godzilla Tokyo SOS is on. I don't. I don't think it needs Spider-Man needs a reboot. I just think it needs better writers. But no one's going to be a good writer on that book because of how bad editorial is. See, I didn't know about the Hammer thing in the Superman Ruby crossover. I haven't watched the Superman Ruby crossover film, so I didn't know what the Hammer is all about. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I completely forgot about that, Chris. The Dead by Daylight prequel comics from Titan. Titan's getting up there in terms of IP books. I know they're also going to be doing. They're going to be doing Conan soon. I know they're doing Conan. It's Ruby. Everyone gets a weapon. Yes, Titan does do the Doctor Who books. Kingdom Come. Yeah, Kingdom Come is like one of the last ones I really want for, uh, for the for comic wise, to be made into an animated film is Kingdom Come. Oh yeah, I'm happy for Super Sons to be back. Evil Dead coming soon. It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care much for Rotten Tomatoes, but that is like a good sign that like Evil Dead is like that's a good sign. That's at least a good sign. As much as I don't like Rotten Tomatoes, I'm still like, okay, if it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, that has to account for something. Death Island, Resident Evil Death Island. I'm looking forward to it. Um, the Resident Evil animated films can be very hit and miss. I will say they can be very hit and miss. So it'll be difficult to see how. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Did I see Shazam: Fury of the Gods? I did not. I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait until at this point. I'm just gonna wait until it comes out on like streaming, which I heard shouldn't be too long because HBO likes to crank out the movies soon after. So we'll see at HBO Max. I'll watch it on HBO Max. It's usually in 2 months. Do I wish Superman had more crossovers? A little bit, yeah, and just with him, not with just Justice League. I would say like maybe June, July for the has been release. Adam. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna call it a day. I'm very tired. I wanted to do this, showing off the comics and talking to you guys real quick. Um, but right now, I'm gonna get some rest because it's been a very long weekend. So I'm gonna chill out for a little bit. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining in on this uh, live stream. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse, and I'll see you next time in the multiverse.